Yeah, Rise of the TMNT. That was pretty awesome. I don't know if anyone else saw that. I liked it. Okay, Q&A time. Is anybody here? Is anyone up there awake? Yeah, absolutely nobody. Amazing. Oh wait, no, there is 5 watching. Never mind. I guess I'm just oh, okay, everyone's showing up now. 6 watching now. Common X hi, Crazy Boy 190 sup. Hola by PX Gaming. What's up by Buddy Smith. Gonna hold up, waiting for everyone else to show up. Hi, how are you doing? By Jareth Charles. Well, how am I doing? The channel, as some of you may know, is still under. Well, here's a slight update. When it came to the counter notifications, August 3rd is the final day where I'll know if they got retracted or not. I mean, well, if the strikes are removed. But the thing is that once August 3rd happens, I'm still not in the clear because I still have 2 other strikes on the channel. One of them is not going away because it's an A and B, so I'm gonna have to just wait until the 3 months are over. But the other one, I sent the counter the notification afterward because I got the strike way later. So by the time everything clears up, I will still have 2 strikes on it, and then eventually within another week or 2, it should go down to 1, and then I have to wait 3 months for that last strike to go away. But as long as I don't have 3 strikes, then I can actually do stuff on the channel, because I can't even the reason I'm putting stuff here on the Manly channel is because I'm not allowed to upload anymore on the main one. And even though it says I could stream on the main channel, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, maybe I should have tried again before I went over here, but I didn't feel like it. But anyways, let me go back to the comments. Like, hello by Jackie Vis White. Yo by Gaita or Gaita. And Alicia Franco. Sup, Mr. Boy. Hey, hero. Then the Titan Dragon 100. Hey, guys. Alicia or Alicia Franco says, "Love your channel, man. Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you." Actually, I'm a little bit upset with it because because these recent strikes made me realize that a lot of the main stuff that I wanted to talk about I haven't really done. And the what I was gonna start with was the 7-year anniversary video. That way I could get that ball rolling again. But then the whole strikes happened, and then I wasn't able to go as planned. But in the meantime, I should be working on stuff. I don't want to be feeling sorry for myself that, oh, I can't do anything. So when the strikes literally happened, I was working on the Steel Ball Run review that I want to get out with, and it's almost complete. I might take the lazy way out and only edit the crucial moments that I need to that need actual visuals. If not, then I'll just upload whatever I got. What should I ask? By Beta Ray Memes. I don't know. Have you heard of Roku Denanshi Blues? Yes, I have. I actually read a little bit of it, about 15 chapters, which is the I suppose the first major arc with Maeda Tyson and his Kansai dialect when he gets really pissed off. But that's the I think that's the the only thing that I read so far. The reason I decided to read it now is because of Megalobox, and I was thinking for that video to explore different boxing series and see like how does Megalobox compare in contrast to the other boxing titles of Ganbare Genki, Hajime no Ippo, Ashita no Joe, Rini Kakero, and others that I'm not aware of. Roku Denanshi Blues is manly. Yes, it is. And then let me go back. In time, bro, you'll get your balls back rolling. When do you plan to release the next One Manly vid after the strike is cleared? By Nicholas Ningaba. About the One Manly list, I'm a bit troubled in how to. Well, if you look at the previous I mentioned this in the previous live stream, but I don't recall where in that live stream because it was 2 hours long. It was definitely in the first 30 minutes, but I'll just repeat it here. I think what I'm gonna do, since I had to remove the Android 18 because of Toei, which that one they didn't, there's no claim on it or anything, but I just did that as a precaution. And the same thing I did with the Fujiko one because I thought if this thing gets a strike, I mean, I don't want to set another counter notification again and have to delay the channel from further activity. So what I might have to do instead of doing a one character at a time anymore, and it's been more than 3 years, I think, since I started doing this, or at least two, that instead I'm just going to combine them all into either a 25 character video, like into 25 characters in one video, or maybe 50 if I just list them down because the only ones I know for sure where to rank them is some of the top tier characters. Like number one to me is pretty obvious to anyone that knows the anime, The Rose of Versailles. They know what main character should be on the top of a manly list because of that show. And others, I'm not quite sure where to put them. And I know for certain that not everyone's going to be happy regardless of what reasonings I give. So that's also the ranking has been pretty difficult for me, so that's why I'm thinking maybe I should just compile them all into one video because there's some characters that I truly feel should be in the top 10, but the problem is if you're gonna watch the show for that specific character, then your enjoyment and your experience within that anime or to try to get to that point where that character is involved is not going to be pleasant. The best example I could think of would be Utena from Revolutionary Girl Utena because I didn't think about this after a while that the season 2 or whatever, the middle of the anime is very filler-ish and the content kind of is pretty episodic and it's not what you typically think going into a womanly type of expected from a womanly type character, but I don't know, it varies per person, I suppose. But yeah, the womanly character list is going to be a bit troublesome, but I feel that I should just compile it all into one video because I feel honestly that everyone's waited long enough for that. And the same thing goes for the manly villains. That's going to be a 10 character roster. So with the manly list, I just might just give the names of the characters, give some basic descriptions of who they are, what they come from, anything you should be wary of when it comes to your enjoyment of watching the show, where to watch the show, what manga is it from, just the basic stuff and highlights. Because then again, I think the manly list, because the way I did that one years ago, I was more focused on I feel as the years passed on, I started to get a little more creative or more thought-provoking in my writing, and as a result, I overthink what I'm doing when it comes to these manly characters. Because if you notice that almost each one that I did previously was pretty much a character profile instead of just a basic, oh, this character's from this, but at the same time, I kind of want to go into more detail of who the character was. So I've been having plans of either should I just put it all in one video or make separate character profiles of the ones that I'm truly interested in. That might be the best case scenario at this rate. Please tell me I didn't lose connection. Stop broadcasting. Okay, no, I did not lose connection. Let's see. Going back on. Yeah, I think you asked me this like in the last stream, Titan Dragon 100. Have you ever heard of the Suka manga Marvelous Melmo? And I'm gonna check what that is right now because if I'm right, then Marvelous Melmo is the series where it's about that little girl that makes herself get older. Let's see, Marvelous Melmo, is that the one? Marvelous Melmo. Let's see. Yeah, it is that one. Yeah, I know what series you're talking about, but I haven't explored it for myself. Okay, let me go back up. Ever heard of the Beta Ray memes? Have you played any of the Yakuza games? Nope. The Fist of North Star Lost Paradise will be my very first experience of anything Yakuza related. A lot of my friends have told me to get into that, and they have shown me a lot of different clips and everything, but I'm just going to wait with Fist of North Star to actually dive into the Yakuza section. Let's see. Don't lose your passion, man. Your channel is the best references and recommendations. Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do with that channel, and it's just kind of annoying that just when I'm about to do something, all these TMS copyright strikes started happening, and it's kind of BSing a bit because I had some friends who told me that they actually got claims by TMS, but then strangely enough, they were almost immediately removed. Like, they weren't told anything; it just vanished. But the difference with them is that they got claims. Mine got copyright strikes like immediately. So I have no idea what's going on with all this. Guacman, what are your thoughts on Shrek? Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I was just gonna say that ogres have layers. Let's see. You are one of the only anime channels I still watch. You don't just talk about everything new. You also go find some good stuff. Yeah, I've always been a bit of an explorer when it comes to anime for some reason. I don't know why. Because when I was watching cartoons, well, way back in the 90s, 2000s, I never exactly went out and looked for things. Usually, whatever I was into is because that was the only thing I was able to watch at the time, hence being on TV. Like some of my favorite shows growing up in the 90s were Beast Wars, Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, Darkwing Duck. I think those were the top five. Oh, Gargoyles. So that's like the top six for me when it comes to the 1990s that I remember. Because I didn't really grow up watching Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. It was a little later that I started watching Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, you know, the main lineup, Powerpuff Girls sometimes. Not much Nickelodeon aside from the obvious SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents from back then. But yeah, when it comes to anime, I do want to explore a lot of things, and this is something I want to go in further detail in the 7-year anniversary video whenever it gets made. That for whatever reason, a lot of the big time people don't seem to have an encouragement or any interest to explore older works. They just after a certain point, like when streaming was very popular in the 2011 onward, that people became very very attentive when it comes to the seasonal anime. They were just more focused about what's coming out that's new, and it was a strange gaps in years because I want to say that anime from like the mid 2000s all the way up to 2010, no one really goes back to those shows anymore. Because even something like Baccano and Darker Than Black, which were pretty big names when they first came out, they definitely got more subdued as the time goes on. But you notice that shows like the 98, I think it was 1998, Cowboy Bebop is still being talked about today. And Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Fullmetal Alchemist, well, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood from 2007, 2008, that one's still relevant, but no one goes back to 2003 anymore. Or the 1999 Hunter x Hunter, the 90s JoJo OVA, or anything that wasn't really popular back then. What's the show? I have a whole list of shows that I'm gonna mention in that video. Like nobody talks about Gantz anymore, or Claymore, Blue Gender, Speed Grapher, well maybe Basilisk because of the new one. Because I still haven't watched that, but that's how I feel with the shows. Let's see. You should try watching Urasawa's Yawara, a fashionable judo girl. I do know about it, but I haven't gone into it. I mean, I still haven't gone and read 20th Century Boys. I haven't finished Billy Bat. I stopped reading it ever since I caught up to the manga chapters about 4 years ago. What's the other one that I haven't read from him? Actually, no. 20th Century Boys is probably the only big one that I haven't read. I know I read Pluto because of the Astro Boy stuff, and I did finish Monster. That was like back when Hulu and anime was still a thing, and Stars Media. And well, that was back then when Viz Media had the very first Monster set, and they never got the rest. Let's see. Are you watching Baki 2018, Juan Jose? Not right now. No, I'm just gonna wait until Netflix, until it pops up on the English Netflix, because the last time I checked, the fan subs, well, Baki fan subs in general, whether it's manga or anime, have never really been the best. There's always something very crude, and they're never punctual either because the schedule is like so irregular. They'll be missing chapters that were never translated, or just spelling errors in general, or sometimes I'm even wondering if like, certain manga translations are, is this what really is being said, or are you trying to make it sound a little more badass or profound than it actually is? I don't know. That's why I'm waiting for some official sources, hence the Netflix Baki, whether it's dub or sub, that at the very least I can say that that is a more accurate translation, and I'm better get the a clearer message of what Keisuke Itagaki was trying to say. And speaking of Baki, the new Grappler Baki manga actually got licensed. The manga is actually going to be released digitally first, and I think they'll be releasing physical format afterwards. However, there's word that they're thinking of releasing the very first Baki manga if the second series does successful. If it is successful, gosh. And obviously, the reason that manga is being licensed is because of Baki 2018, which is based on that sequel manga. Going back to the comments, the Titan Dragon 100. Ever read any other Osamu Tezuka manga like Buddha, Marvelous Memo, and Phoenix? Nope. Buddha and Phoenix are definitely the big ones that I need to look inside Tezuka stuff. I actually still haven't finished Blackjack and Astro Boy manga, even though I did read a lot of it. The other stuff that I read from Tezuka would be, what was the names of those series? Alabaster, Clockwork Apple, the Princess Knight manga, and I think that's about it. My Tezuka knowledge is pretty limited. It's kind of weird because when it comes to Tezuka and Go Nagai, I've kind of read like some of their biggest ones, but haven't really dived into their full library. Have you read any Western comic book? Yeah, I have. I have read some of the more major ones, like the Death of Superman, Killing Joke, The Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen. I think that might be everything. It wasn't much comic book reading that I do. Darkwing Duck is the shit. Yeah, I'm really hoping that the new Ducktales will eventually make a Darkwing Duck reboot, because there was a slight tease that Darkwing Duck is a TV show within the new Ducktales series. I'm like, that was cool, but can we get like a real show, a real thing? Yeah. Do you ever think Kaneko Man will ever get a remake by Vivid Sniper? I hope so. I mean, there's been a lot of Kinnikuman days for the past couple of years, and they never done it. I remember that one of my Ultimate Muscle manga volumes even stated that they wanted to make a live action Kinnikuman movie that was very super violent. I forgot which volume it was, but it was one of the two that they either wanted a live action movie or an anime movie, just redoing everything and make it more violent, which is weird. Let's see. Das Hunter Hunter. Yo, McWhirlpool Inc. Yo, more. Oh, gosh, I can't even say. McWhirlpool Inc. here, currently in the Battle of Throne for Kaneko Man. Who was your favorite team? By the way, don't worry about spoiling. Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering what your what happened to your channel, since you kind of been gone for like I don't know how many years, but yeah. Let's see. Kaneko Man. Battle for the Throne arc. Who was your favorite team? If you're talking about villains, what villains did I like? I'm even drawing a little bit of a blank since it's been a while, because I know Team Super Phoenix had like some very overpowered members in his team, because there was Super Phoenix, freaking Mammoth Man, Omega Man, Priz Man, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm actually forgetting the freaking roster of every Throne arc. Oh, come on, work fast. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I could just look at this on my phone instead. All right, let me see. Kaneko Man Throne Arc, because I don't even remember the rosters. Let's see. Kaneko Man Throne Arc. What am I doing? Let's see. Kaneko Man. Crap. All right, let's see. Let me go in Google Images. Kineko Man Team Super Phoenix. I'm forgetting who the final member of that group was. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, it was Satan Cross. Yeah, that guy. The thing is, like, I don't really like Super Phoenix himself, but I like his members of his team, especially Mammoth Man and Omega Man's design. Like, Omega Man has this peculiar giant hand thing on his back, and Mammoth Man was just. I consider Mammoth Man like the Nappa of the Kineko Man series, because when Nappa showed up during the whole Saiyan arc thing, he was completely destroying everybody in that arc, and Mammoth Man was just tackling everybody. Well, let me see what other teams were there besides the obvious. Let's see. Team Mariposa had Mr. VTR, King 100 Ton, I forgot the name of the Mixer Man, and the Eagle Man, Hawkman. I forgot one of the two. Then again, Kineko Man Zebra had some interesting members as well, because there was Motor Man, Bike Man, Pantheon, and who was the other one? Um, what was the name of the Manriki? The one that got the short end of the stick was clearly Kineko Man Big Body, because it got taken out pretty easily. I don't remember the names of his teammates, but I'm looking at a picture of the designs. But they were killed by Mammoth Man single handedly, and then Super Phoenix just took him out. So it's a toss between Mammoth Man's and Kineko Man Zebra's team, I guess, when it comes to their rosters. All right, let's see. Let me go back. Do you ever think Kineko Man? Not many people talk about Yu Hakusho. Well, I suppose Yu Hakusho kind of died down a little bit, but I still feel it's still a remembered shonen. And I don't know how many people realize that Yu Hakusho, that a lot of anime fans, they're like, oh, I don't want to watch something from the 90s or 80s, but I'm thinking, but Yu Hakusho is from, freaking 1992 and stuff. Dragon Ball's even older, and then Hunter x Hunter, that was the anime was 99, but I think the manga started in 97. So you see what I mean? There's a bunch of shows there. I really like your Devilman videos by Jareth Charles. Well, thank you. That was actually my favorite Go Nagai series, and I, to be honest, that shouldn't have been. With Devilman and Go Nagai, I got like the wrong perception of him, so that's why I was kind of taken out when I started reading Cutie Honey for the first time back in 2014. But the more I explored by Go Nagai, I started to like his style, even though his quality of story material isn't always the greatest. But he's very fun, and I just like how he pushes things to the edge. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's my battery going low. It's a definition of a cult classic. Have you read any Image comic books? Nope. Sorry. I know there's like a huge line of different brands that's exclusive to that brand, but the closest thing to an Image comic I think I have read or will read in the future might be something Ninja Turtles related, because Ninja Turtles comics, they go beyond the just Mirage. They've done Archie, Image, DC Comics as well. I think I'm forgetting another one. That's the Archie, Image. I'm pretty sure IDW. That's the other one. That's the current format of the Turtle comics. Have you seen Rise of the TMNT? Oh, yes, I did. If you look at my Twitter account, which is the Anime Hero at the Anime Hero, yeah, it's both the same thing. I did some tweets of Rise, and I can say for sure that if anyone was skeptical about Rise of the Ninja Turtles, what it is, because I'm saying this as a Turtles fan who's seen all the other shows, the 1987, sorry, the Next Mutation, the live action show from Saban, the 2003 series, which includes Fast Forward and Back to the Sewer, and TMNT 2012. If you add up all of that plus the 2 OVA episodes from Japan, that's over 500 episodes of Ninja Turtles. So in preparation for Rise, I saw those 500 episodes, and this was like months ago, by the way. I didn't watch this like in a week or something. So Rise had a sneak peek on Nickelodeon's website, There's about 3 or 4 episodes up, and I watched Rise, and I can tell you for certain that Rise is the least serious of the bunch so far. But there's definitely room that is going to go in a serious direction later on, especially when Splinter gets off his lazy bum and start actually teaching his sons what to do. Rise of TMNT, in terms of visuals and style, it's as if you ever wondered what a Ninja Turtles anime would look like, and if it was done by Studio Trigger, this is it. This is the most anime Ninja Turtles we're ever gonna get, and it's actually pretty damn cool. Donatello is the one that sticks out the most, but so does Leonardo. Leonardo is still leader-ish, even though Raphael is the so-called leader of the group. Raphael is a lot more sociable. He's a lot more. I think he's actually manlier this time around than his angry attitude that he usually has in other iterations. But I do want to make more Ninja Turtles videos, but in order to explain every little thing, I would have to make a lot of small videos explaining what makes each turtle different from each version. I can guarantee you that people will get into different turtles for different reasons, because I assume by default the 87 show should be considered the worst simply because of its animation errors, the nonstop errors as it have all the way through. By that logic, however, I do feel that the comedy of the show, the bonds of the four turtles, and excuse me, among with other characters, I feel the 87 series like succeeds, surpasses its negatives. That's what I'm trying to get to. TMNT 2003, like that was like the first major step into a more, well, I can't call it the first serious turtle show, because the 87 series, the last 3 seasons, the last 20 some episodes were actually a more darker, serious take on the turtles. Look up, if you look at Google Images, look up Ninja Turtles. Actually, no. You could look for the opening. Look for Ninja Turtles 1994 opening or something like that. And if you see a red sky, that's the more darker, serious episodes where they even have redesigns. You can tell by looking at their eyes and their bandanas how they have such a mean look to them. But yeah, each turtle series has like its benefit. Rise of the TMNT so far has been it's been fun. I'm actually liking all the new villains, and even Baron Draxum, voiced by John Cena of all people. But his performance is good. The thing is, it's still too early to judge the show as a whole. You could have first impressions on him, but we still don't know the end results or the end of the story arc per se, or season finale, whatever. We still have a lot to wait until September, where it officially airs on TV. But if you're well, obviously you're an anime fan because you're on my channel. I suggest watching Rise of TMNT and give you just to give an idea of what you're getting into. But I also recommend all the other turtle shows. Like I would say, 2003 and 2012 are the most plot focus and overall narrative, while the 87 series, the quality of the 87 series varies per season, and it really does. Like the most serious ones were season 1 is very short; it's 5 episodes long, and it sort of just gets straight to the point. So you can consider the first 5 episodes a movie, and it's actually a pretty fun one because that's the most best looking animation it had for the most of the series, and the turtles actually do fight pretty impressively in those episodes. Then with season 2 of 87, that's where it kept going. Then season 3, it got very popular, but that's when it started to get a really mix of silly stuff mixing with serious elements. And then as it kept going, it just got more and more comedic. And then finally at the very end of 87, that's when it went back to serious routes. But by that point, nobody was really into the turtles once it was late in the late 90s, well, mid 90s, whatever. Let me go back to the comments. I Live Inside Your House. Billy Bat is finished already. You should read it. It's a brilliant manga. Yeah, I know it. I know it's been finished for a while, but I just haven't been interested in going back. Vivid Sniper. Gantz is brutal. ASF. Yep, Gantz is brutal. I'm trying to avoid swearing because the last live stream actually got the yellow dollar sign, so that's something I've been trying to avoid doing. Ultra Star Inc. Has anybody watched or heard about Abenobashi before? That one is old. Abenobashi. I want to say I've heard if you're talking about the that arcade Abenobashi, if it's what the yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's the English title is Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi. I haven't seen the show. I think Falcon actually has seen the whole thing, but my most knowledge of the show itself is simply the Fist of the North Star reference and the clip that I put about the stereotypical American anime character where he's just swearing like crazy. Tezuka's Unico is a great series. That's one I forgot to mention. I have seen the movies of Unico, but I haven't read the manga. Let's see. I think Tezuka manga is better than Go Nagai. Probably, to be honest, it depends on the stories. But I have seen Tezuka in some low points, to be honest, because there's some moments in Blackjack and Astro Boy where things don't go in the direction I'm expecting it to be. Or in some case with Blackjack, there will be a serious moment and it's followed by a goofy thing that breaks the scene. Let's see. DKR is pretty manly. I don't know what DKR is or what's the acronym for that. Sorry. Have you gone into Shotaro Ishinomori works by Kamen X? My most experience with Shotaro has been cyborg related stuff. You know, 009, obviously. My very first exposure to that was back during the 2000s when Cyborg 009, the 2001 series, aired on Cartoon Network on during the I think it's pronounced SVS any SVS SV in I forgot how it's pronounced, but it's supposed to be a pun on NES. So it's probably SVS. That's probably what it was called. That little block that would air on Saturday nights or Saturday afternoons all the way to the night. Aside from that, what other Shotaro stuff? Because with Cyborgs, I've seen the entirety of the 2001 series, and I'm waiting for the Blu-ray release that Discotek is going to do. I saw Call of Justice, which was on Netflix. I haven't seen the CGI movie that Funimation did. Obviously, I saw the crossover with Devilman, and I haven't watched the. I saw like a few episodes of the '60s version, the black and white one, and I think the other one was 1979, which I only saw the first episode, but I really like the art style of that since it uses the postcard memories of Dezaki. I don't think he directed that, but I appreciate that it has those same visuals. Let's see. Human Sniper, yeah, the manga is hella brutal. Ramen Man be crazy. Yeah, Ramen Man is very out there. How the hell did he get so violent? Like he's a Chinese superhero, but the way he kills Brocken Man or Broken Man, he just tears him in half and then he starts drinking his blood. Like really, sheesh, Ramen Man, what's wrong with you? He just looks so evil when you look at those early manga panels, and it's so interesting how it changed to the very end of the story where he's like much more noble, especially when he has his spin-off anime Tatakae Ramen Man. Yeah, I have no idea how long. Okay, started streaming 33 minutes ago. All right, I might make this an hour stream. I don't want to make this 2 hours like last time. In fact, let me take a sip of water because last time I was ill prepared. Okay. Better memes. I recommend you Walter Simonson's or Simonson's Mighty Thor. It's really good and very easy to find. Yeah, I'll think about it because when it comes to comics, currently the only things I feel like reading are He-Man, Ninja Turtles related stuff when it comes to comics at the moment. Because there's also a Turtles crossover with the real Ghostbusters, so that's something I need to finish reading. What do you think makes a good story arc in any manga, show, or anime? From Titan Dragon 100. Ooh, let me think. What would be a good story arc? Well, personally, my favorite arcs is either usually one of the early arcs where it establishes the main roster of characters or where they become friends. the first major, usually the first major incident is what sort of makes me that sort of makes me feel like, yeah, I like the show, I want to watch more. But then every now and then there's also the big arc, the one that stands out from everyone, the one that says like, oh, that arc is, the arc, like CP9 of One Piece, the game changer, I suppose is what it's called. Or I guess it all comes back to Saint Seiya's like idea of the whole rescue arc, because that's pretty much where it originated from what I can gather of all the other animes that I've seen about the whole like, oh, one of our friends got kidnapped, we need to infiltrate the villain's area, and then we got to fight in sequences of one-on-one battles until we get to that point. Because with Bleach we had that with the whole Soul Society thing, and then again with Hueco Mundo. What was the other show I was mentioning? One Piece had it with the Water 7 plus CP9 arc, and then again with the Marineford War with Ace. I know there was another show. Naruto had it with the Sasuke retrieval arc. So I guess it comes down to that rescue arc that Saint Seiya started. That's where the stakes go very high. So but then again, like another good example is, to me, I feel the best Kinnikuman arc is the Dream Tag arc, because it reinforces their companionship for each other, and then the stuff that Terryman and Kinnikuman go through in that arc, where they solidify their friendship again, or maybe this time for reals. But there was so much going on in that arc, because we had a teacher that came back, and the villains who we thought were going to be the main villains of the arc, being Sunshine and Ashura Man, weren't the main baddies. It was Neptune Man and Big the Budo came out of nowhere. I'm thinking, like, who are these guys? Like, I thought Ashura Man and Sunshine would be the main villains, but nope. Then again, I mean, that arc is just so good on so many levels, because it starts off that they steal their friendship and lock it in a box, which is so amazing. So the arc already starts off in a gloomy way, because Kinnikuman's fighting by himself. No one wants to be his partner. Everyone's sort of like out to get each other. And then as the arc continues, as they're fighting other bad guys, they start like reuniting and become True Justice Chojin again. So that's what I appreciate with that arc. So I suppose a good shonen arc has to do something that involves a lot of character, where it takes, actually, yeah, even the rescue arcs, it always had to do with that friendship thing about like with Nico Robin and with the rest of the group, Frankie, and even to with Sanji during the whole like Whole Cake Island stuff. I guess the best way I can put it is that the one of the better shonen arcs are ones that involve the entire main cast and solidifies or kind of reminds the audience why they liked it to begin with, but also raise the stakes high enough to a new form of action, new form of danger, new form of threat. So maybe a character might have to die in the process, maybe, or get revived at the end. I don't know, because I guess as long as that there's enough tension in the air, I guess that's the best way to put it, and overcome that struggle. Because if you have a shonen arc like that and it ends in total tragedy, then I don't know how you can pick yourself up after that. Then again, Asta no Joe had the direction where, well, obviously for after fighting Rikishi, like he had to get himself back up, and the Ultimate Muscle manga, it goes in the same way, because Kid Muscle actually loses to Kevin Mask in the tournament, and Kid Muscle had to get back on his feet and actually had to team up with Kevin Mask to fight against Boltzmann and a younger version of Ashura Man, because he took like this demon jewel to make himself young again. But yeah, I guess those are some ideas. Like Giancarlo Deet, anime hero, yeah, the Titan Dragon 100. Can you imagine if Kinnikuman and Mega Man having a crossover? I can kind of see why you're requesting that, because of all the man in the title. But yeah, my knowledge of Mega Man is very, very limited. So Like, yeah, I missed out. Basically, I missed out on the whole Mega Man hype as a kid. So I was in the '90s, so I wasn't really much into games in the '90s, to be honest. The game that I liked playing the most was actually either Pokemon Stadium or Super Mario 64. I never really played any of those challenging platformers. Well, Mario 64 was a challenging platformer, but Mega Man's a whole different type of difficulty, obviously. Yeah, let's see. That would be a great crossover. There's a lot of fan art with pixel art of Kaneko Man. Let's see. What would you consider as the big three of anime and manga in the United States? Right now, I can think of two easily, which is Dragon Ball Super and My Hero Academia. That's what the most popular thing is when it comes to anime and manga. But for a third choice, hmm, I'm guessing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Some might say Black Clover or Fairy Tail, but honestly, I think it's JoJo that's like the biggest thing right now. It's between JoJo, Hero Academia, and Dragon Ball is never gonna go. I know others would probably say One Piece, but in terms of fandom, I think let me put it this way. I For the first time ever in my life, early this year, like around March, I think it was March or February, I actually went to my very first convention. It wasn't an anime convention; it was more comic, American comic related. And in there, I saw a bunch of Hero Academia cosplay. I didn't see One Piece. I saw a lot of Dragon Ball. And I don't recall seeing that much JoJo there, but I know like if you go more higher up north, you will see JoJo everywhere, especially next year during the next year's anime expos. You're gonna see a lot of Part 5 cosplay. I just know it. So yeah, I think right now the biggest things have been Dragon Ball Super, My Hero Academia, and why am I forgetting what I just mentioned? Dragon Ball Super, My Hero Academia, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I would say One Piece would be next. Fairy Tail, I'm assuming, is still up there. The Black Clover probably is another contender. I know Promise Neverland has gotten some attention as well, and I know I'm forgetting another one that's pretty simple. Like I know One Punch Man might get that hype back up, but honestly, I lost interest in the One Punch Man series. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to. I'm having struggle remembering what's going on right now. Let's see. Favorite Gotcha episode. Um, I could think of one which is called Duel on Galactor Island. I forgot the actual number, but it's like in the 70s, 80s. It's the one where Joe the Condor ends up going back to his hometown and he's attacking all of the different geez, how am I forgetting the name of the Galactor henchman? Gosh, that's how long it's been since I looked at Gotcha Man. Okay, so the reason I like that is because in that episode he was mostly out of costume, and then the story elements of that one where he's in talk with that priest who used to be his friend, and then how he killed that person's fiance without knowing it. So I really appreciate how they worked a very older episode into the plot of this one. It was like, oh, continuity. I'm impressed. 1972 for a superhero show. That's pretty out there. And then the story is just really dark, especially by the end of the episode where Joel gets shot and he's saying that he kind of wants to die right there, but it's not his time. And I guess the other one is 50. It's in the early 50s. It's the one about Gotcha Man's Revenge. I think that's the episode title, something along that. It's basically right after the Red Impulse incident where Ken the Eagle is going on this manhunt on all these different Galactor agents and trying to interrogate them. Then by the end of the episode, like everyone argues with each other, lets their feelings out, and then at the very end, where all is gloom, Gotcha Man recovers and gets his team out to safety. Then the episode ends with him like still kind of furious, but enough to control himself and look out for his teammates. So I guess those are like my favorite episodes from the top of my head of Gotcha Man. Thanks for answering from Juan Jose about the Baki question. Yeah, if you barely showed up earlier, he was asking if I was watching Baki 2018, and I said no, not yet. I'm just waiting for the Netflix for better translations. And also, the new Grappler Baki manga has been licensed, but it's going to be released digitally first and in physical format later. And there might be hopes of licensing the original Baki manga too. What's the most beautiful and the most disturbing scene from the Berserk manga? From the Titan Dragon 100? From the top of my head, the most beautiful scene I could think of Berserk. Well, I think of the anime when it comes to this visual because I know the manga is a little different. Is when Guts and Casca put aside their differences and actually make love. The image I'm thinking about is the postcard memory where Guts and Casca are holding each other and you see the illustration and then it fades to white. But I know in the manga for that image it's a lot more erotic the way it's done in there, and also in the Golden Age movie. But the most disturbing panel I could think of in Berserk would probably be I want to say the eclipse because all of volume 12 and 11 because those volumes are like they're pretty great. They're pretty disturbing. Well, no. The one there's two panels that bothered me when I first read them. One was the goat head with the snake penis, and the second one was the when the fairy, well they're not fairies but they're like whatever that elf fairy demon thing was when they're playing war with each other, and then one of them says adult attack and each ends up like what's a clean word? He sodomizes the other thing and it ends up killing killing it. So yeah, those are the more disturbing Berserk panels on the top of my head that I recall. Let's see. I recommend reading Invincible. It's the best Image comic and it's the best superhero comic of all time, in my opinion. Let's see. Okay, my Whirlpool answered that. I got rid of my old channel. There are many reasons why. One was because I kept on getting flagged and I just didn't want a dead channel to be around. Yeah, okay, that's understandable. Let's see. I recommend reading Image TMT was really dumb, lol, and unnecessarily gritty. However, Eric Larson's art makes up for it. Yeah, I haven't really looked too much into the Turtle comics, but I want to explore everything, see how I feel about the whole thing, just so I can compare and contrast. Because 2003 and 2012 especially had a lot of comic references from a lot of different Turtles media, and I need to in order for me to get it, I would need to look at this first. Do you know the channel Do Menchio? If you do, what are your thoughts about it? No, haven't heard of that one. Sorry. Since you like Tatsunoko Production superheroes, ever watch any Hanna-Barbera superheroes? That is something I need to explore for a superhero retrospective because when it comes to shows like He-Man, She-Ra, and Brave Star, I feel like they're the last of that type of superhero show that was started by Ruby Spears and Hanna-Barbera. Because the shows that I do want to explore would be Thundar the Barbarian, the actual Space Ghost, the actual Birdman, and I can't remember the name, but I know it's about Dynomutt and the Falcon, the Blue Falcon. That's the name of the group, I think. And I know this is other superhero that's like this barbarian type. And I know that's where Bruce Timm got some inspiration from as well, because he has that black on the face, white eyes, and those horns on his head. I don't remember what that name of that hero is called, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find it. But yeah, I do want to explore those things at a later time, because I assume that could also work in with Gatchaman, since it'd be kind of surprising how Battle of the Planets and Gatchaman were just so radically different from everything else of its time. Team Super Phoenix and Team Zebra are awesome. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Team Zebra's design is probably one of my. I think Team Zebra actually is my favorite Kinnikuman Prince design of all of them. Well, Big Body was pretty cool too, but he got taken out so easily, so easily. So I agree with Invincible. Everyone's saying Invincible is great. All right, I believe you guys. Favorite Ninja Turtle? For a while, I was debating between Leonardo and Raphael. I do like them all for different reasons, but Leonardo is probably my favorite one by far. One of the reasons that that's the only turtle that I really feel like buying merchandise for. So that's like a clear evidence of that. But I do like his responsibility in the series of depending on which version, because I like all of the Leonardos, even the Rise 2012. Well, I don't like the Next Mutation Leonardo, to be honest. He doesn't really do much. When it comes to Next Mutation, Raphael's the one that stood out to me because in that one he was actually very racist towards humans, so that's kind of interesting. He just didn't like people, and Raphael actually showed signs of that in the '87 cartoon, especially towards the end. He just really didn't like humans, which to me it didn't really make much sense because he never said anything of that to April. Or so I'm thinking like, how come you don't make this into a story right here where April and Raphael talk about this, but it never happened. But when it comes to '87 Turtles, Leonardo's my favorite, but I like the whole group in general. Like I feel the group of '87 is probably my favorite out of everybody, out of every iteration. When it comes to the movies, yeah, I guess Leonardo's probably still my favorite there in the 1990s, but I like them all. In 2003, it was definitely Leonardo, but then again, the whole show was more catered to him throughout, like from the very beginning all the way to the end of season 3, where he was having his anguish moments and this rage that he had. 2012, like again, putting the responsibility of the leader, Leonardo just had that. But I really did like how Donatello stood out a bit more in 2012. Michelangelo felt like very perfected in 2012, like as like the most energetic, goofy, silly you're ever gonna get. Yeah, I still like Raphael and all the other versions. Actually, I think my favorite version of Raphael is probably the most different, which is the '87 one, because that one he's not really angry. He's just like a smart ass. That's the best way I can put it. When it comes to current Rise, Donatello and Raphael are really sticking out for me, but I still like Leonardo. I feel that the more Rise episodes come out, I may lean towards Donatello or Raphael, depending how the story goes. It's gonna take a million years for the rest of City Hunter to be translated. LOL. The Anime Heroes back. Welcome back. Well, I'm not exactly back yet, Brian. This is the Manly Anime Hero channel, so it's not the main one that's in trouble. You're gonna have to wait till August, to like the first or second week of August, to know if I'm back in full strength. Best Ninja Turtle villain. I don't know about the best. Well, personally for me, I really like the 2012 Shredder. I felt like that one. They added a lot of human elements in that version because all of his actions were out of jealousy and love. Because he wanted a family for himself, but he absolutely hated his brother Hamato Yoshi in that version. But you can tell that he absolutely wanted a family by the end of that whole arc of that whole series. But that Shredder also had a more menacing approach, because I know a lot of people are gonna say 2003 Shredder is the best one because he. But the thing is, the reason I gravitated more in 2012, besides the human elements, is that in 2003, if you look back at those early episodes when Shredder comes out, his fighting isn't too impressive. Most of the time, he just kicks the turtles, or he has thrown them a bit, but he never really gone full in straight up hurting them until like much later episodes. And then it also doesn't help that the character Bishop was a much cooler, better fighter than Shredder. As weird as that is, but it's true. You look at the Bishop's debut scene and compare it to Shredder's debut scene. Like Bishop was like completely flooring the turtles, and also Leatherhead and other people, and that was all single handedly. In contrast to Shredder, would have his foot ninjas also. But what made it stood out to me is that in 2012 version, when Shredder first came out, you're not expecting it. You're thinking it's going to be like this very silly episode, which it starts off with Pigeon Pete, which is this really silly looking mutant, and they fight against like I forgot their actual names. It was Bradford and I forgot what his name was before he became Fish Face, but they're fighting them and they think, oh, the episode's about to be finished. And then out of nowhere, Shredder just shows up, completely mops the floor with them. And then they also pay homage to the Mirage comics of the first issue of TMNT. So I just felt Shredder had a greater debut in the 2012 series, and as the series kept going, that Shredder just got a lot more vicious, a lot more crazy. He wasn't like always in charge. He wasn't. My problem with 2003 in retrospect is that Shredder, as the series kept going, was got like ridiculously overpowered, and you can tell that we're sort of trying to recreate that same villain by finding excuses of making variants of his like clones, like with the Cyber Shredder and the what was the other Shredder? The original Demon Shredder, which like opened a huge can of worms. I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know if I like this guys, but yeah, all the Shredders have their different highlights. Even the '87 Shredder, like when he first comes out, he's actually a very serious villain. And he's actually a pretty smart version of the Shredder too, because he was actually a bit of a chemist slash scientist. So his knowledge was a little more higher than the other Shredders, which relied on Baxter Stockman and on some other people. But 2012 Shredder is the one that I gravitated the most because of his obsession for revenge and for wanting a family. So I feel 2012 Shredder was the best thing there. Let's see. Shredder's the best, obviously. Well, to comment. Oh, since I'm towards. Oh, okay. Now I'm still like a little. Crap. I gotta go back to the comments. Geez, I gotta go back a lot of comments now. I didn't realize that I missed so much. Oh, geez, how many comments do I need to read? Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Well, when it comes to turtle villains, I'll just leave this as a final note. 2012. The thing is, the Krang were pretty much the main villains of the whole series for a majority of it. I mean, then again, the Triceratons probably did the most damage. I mean, they technically did blow up a planet, so yeah. But then again, Shredder hit him where it really hurts in his heart. So okay, again, I guess by default that Shredder probably is the best one, especially by the end of 2012 we get super like a real Super Shredder. Like yeah, not like Secret of the Use Super Shredder, we just got defeated easily, but like a real Super Shredder. But if you explore TMNT 2012 and 2003, you get a lot more villains. Because 87, you would have a lot of minor villains, but none of them were, I would say, leader level. That's the best way I can put it. In contrast to 2003 and 2012, which villains were ranged from like pretty much planetary threat to they were good. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Meanwhile, in Rise, we have Lord Draxum, which could potentially be another main villain, like big time villain in Ninja Turtles lore. But what I'm curious is that in Rise, later on, Shredder is supposed to come out, and I'm kind of wondering how is Shredder going to work with Baron Draxum? Are they gonna work together or fight against each other? So we'll see. Have you watched any of the Kamen Rider series? Nope. I'm gonna try to breeze through these questions, and probably by the time I finish, I'm gonna call it a night. So yeah, let's see if I can get this done within 20-30 minutes. No, I haven't seen any Kamen Rider series, sorry, or anything tokusatsu. Have you watched Detective Conan by Tip the Lego Nut? I have. Once upon a time, I was caught up to everything Detective Conan, but not anymore. This was back like 2013, 2014, around that time. So I haven't gone back to Conan in forever. Have you seen Jagan? I'm assuming you mean the manga, because the most I've seen was a review by Mr. Falcon Punch, but that's the most I saw. Let's see. Jagan's pretty good manga, but a little too similar to Parasite. Yeah, I can see the resemblance because of the whole parasitic union. But there's been other stuff like that because Guyver. Well, I guess the difference is that it's underhand, but Merging with the Hand, I think, is a bit of a trope in Japan because there's also Hell Teacher Nube, which has a demon Oni as his left hand. So then there's the Gray Man, which has his innocence in his arm as well. And then, well, Edward Elric doesn't have like a demon or anything, but it's still auto mail on the arm. So maybe it is a trope. Also reminds me of games. The best Star game manga to me is Golden Age Berserk. Yeah, Golden Age was pretty amazing. I feel like Berserk has never gotten into like that level of complexity or emotional when it comes to other stories. Like Black Swordsman arc and the Retribution arc. I think that's what it's called when it went in that Valley of the Elves. Well, not Valley of the Elves. When you see the fake demon elf fairy type, and that's the stories that stay. Those are the stories that stick out to me. Gosh. Manliest non-manly character by Beta Ray memes. Manliest non-manly character. Well, gee, I don't know. Like, what kind of paradox is this? Geesh. I don't know. I guess maybe something on the lines of Leorio from Hunter x Hunter, maybe because he has that like adult appeal for like more older audiences, I guess, where he has like, well, he's more of a brash individual. He's definitely the most adult of the team, despite the fact that he's about the same age. So, and he's also not that involved in the series. Maybe that's the type of character that's under that category. I don't know, because I always liked him, but and everybody said the same thing. They wish that he was more in Hunter x Hunter, but he's not. I mean, come on. Apocalypse no Tori, the good zombie manga. I think I've seen that before, but I haven't read it. I Am a Hero is a better zombie manga, in my opinion. Yeah, I heard about that for many, many years now, but I never. I don't know. There's some shows or there's some stuff that I know about them, but I just never feel like intrigued enough to actually explore it. Have you seen any videos by Super Eye Patch Wolf? I think he's seen your videos. I seen one or two because I remember I commented on one of them where he talked about 80 Shonen, and I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't really happy with the Fist of North Star section because I could kind of tell that all the footage that he used was either from the movie or like very, very early episodes. And I think I was in one of those moods where I was just upset or something. I don't know, because I know I left a bit of a lengthy comment, but I wasn't really angry or anything. I was just explaining that. Oh man, my voice is giving out again. I was just explaining how the Kenshiro wasn't exactly like a male fantasy self-fulfillment type of character, but he's actually more heroic and pretty tragic as the series keeps going, because Kenshiro by the end of his series, like, he's left with almost nothing. It's like, dang, what kind of life am I living? But no, I don't really see that many other YouTubers lately. The YouTubers that I watch have been like toy collectors. Actually, give me a second. Let me go and charge my phone. All right, now I'm back. Let's see. There's the spin up. Super Eye Patch Wolf, favorite YouTuber, but the artist drawing for Dragon. Read Fire Punch. I think I stumbled across that, but I haven't looked at that. Anthony Avonce, why are you so cute? I don't know. I guess I just am. Let's see. Fire Punch is pretty good too, but towards the end it became pretty stupid. What if Kaneko Man, Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman had a crossover? Well, that sort of kind of happened. Well, not really, but Kaneko Man has made several parodies, and those characters have shown up at some point within the series. Also, please watch Detective Kendaichi. Yeah, that's another one that I've heard of, but there's just some shows I'm just not too interested in. Gorgeous Gremac. Have you tried Yakuza yet? No, earlier someone asked me that the same thing. I'm thinking Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise will be my very first Yakuza-ish experience, so we'll see how that is. How do you feel about Jojo Leon right now by Common X? Well, I haven't read it like in 2 or 3 years, and the time before that, I also stopped reading it for about 2 years or so because I wanted more chapters to build up, and I haven't looked at it in forever. And I don't feel like looking at Jojo Leon until it's done because, with all honesty, I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't like any of the characters. I wasn't really into what was going on with the story either. It was sort of like there was a lot, I'm pretty sure there's been more context and more answers now, but at that time, with the chapters that were available, I just didn't have much of an interest, and certainly not with the characters. Although I do remember that there was actually a Kinnikuman reference in JoJo Leon. It's a scene where they're shaving in the bathroom, and then one of the hairs gets stuck on their forehead, and it's making that Kinnikuman symbol. How do you feel about the Seven Seas translation of Devilman, Twisted Pix production? On my other channel, I have a video called Devilman Classic Collection Review, and that one I explain my thoughts, but the actual translation itself seems to be fine. There's only been two moments where I found it a little odd. It's somewhere towards the beginning. I know at one point there was one phrase where they mentioned the word oi, instead of hey, because for whatever reason, hey doesn't exist in Japan. It's just solely oi. But the thing is, I would refrain from using that word when it comes to English translation because oi is something that's more common with Australians and I guess some Englishmen. So I think that would be more appropriate for those types of characters rather than just casually shouting oi when it just could be said hey. I know there was something else that got my attention in the manga, but I forgot what it was. It was something minor. It wasn't a big deal. Let's see. Yakuza is a very great game. Slurring again. Twisted Pix Productions. Also, how do you feel about the Seven Seas, including Shin Man as part of the main story? Well, I mentioned in that video also, but basically, I feel that to those who aren't familiar with Shin Man, might see this as a bit of a diversion from the story. Personally, I think it's like kind of fillerish if you're reading both together and think it's part of the overall story. Or personally, I wouldn't prefer. I wouldn't bother slipping it in there. I would just treat it as a bonus feature because it is at the very back of the book, and I would have preferred that thing be in the very back of Volume 2 as an epilogue type of thing. But oh well. Personally, I don't like it being there. That's just me. But it's also not really doing any real harm, I guess. But I appreciate that technically I do have two 70s Devilman models, so I guess that's kind of nice. Have you ever watched Meat Spin? No, I never even heard of that. I don't think. I think they didn't need to include Shin Devilman. Yeah, I don't think he needed that. He's talking about Lost Children. Yeah. That's the Berserk arc that I'm referring to. Let's see. Inuyashiki, best era of Looney Tune shorts. I wouldn't know because I'm not like knowledgeable about its history. I just watched the cartoons and laughed. Sorry. Ever heard of manga like Tegami Bachi, Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan, and Siren? Yes, I have. I remember reading Letter B back when Viz Media had the monthly Shonen Jump issues. Remember those? Anyone remember that? Yeah, like those. That's where I would read some chapters, but I never got around to exploring more of it. I may eventually have to because it was part of the Shonen Jump lineup. Same thing goes for Rise of the Yokai Clan, because that was one of the more modern shonens of the late 2000s, early 2010s, I think. So I know at one point I am gonna explore the majority of Shonen Jump's lineup because I think they overall had the best series when you compare it to like Shonen Sunday and other companies. And Siren, I don't know what that one's about. I know the other two what their focus is, but Siren, aside from the name, because I know I've seen an image of it, but I don't know what's the deal with it. What Bruce Tim hero did you talk about? There was one image that I found online that his Batman design was pretty much modeled after. Well, I know it was a flesher like Superman, but I also saw elements of there was a picture of Batman standing next to Space Ghost and a couple of other heroes that had that facial expression. This character is a Viking. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm pretty sure he was either Hanna-Barbera or something. Blue Falcon was the other one. No, not Black Star. Black Star was from the Filmation series. Wacky Races and Chan Chan is amazing. Yeah, I haven't looked at that, but I can certainly see the Tatsunoko appeal if that's what the thing was referring to, since I'm so late reading the comments. I don't know if you heard of the TMNT Body Count comic where the premise is simply Raph gets a gun and shoots everyone. I recommend the TMNT Visual History book for full knowledge. Well, thanks for pointing me in the right direction, I guess, because no, I never heard of that, but the fact that there's actually a visual history book, then, thanks for that. JoJo Part 5, do you think they will add Purple Haze Dream Away? Maybe, because the adaptations of every JoJo part have never been 100% accurate to the source material. Sometimes stuff gets subtracted, other times things get added in. And it's like the typical stuff, like it's pretty much standard for Battle Shonen, even when they're completed, to have changes. Well, then again, adaptations in general always have changes from the source. But with JoJo Part 5, I guess it wouldn't hurt to add some more Fugo in there, because everyone knows the story about how he just sort of like come on guys, we need to get in, who's in or out, let's get on this boat to fight the boss. I'm not going, bye. Arrivederci. And they just ditch him. I know there was also there was some stuff detailing that he was at one point probably going to be a spy for Diavolo and all that, but oh well, let's see what happens. So I wouldn't mind, because my concern with Part 5 was like how the action's gonna be, because when I read the manga, I thought this was like a very fast-paced, amazing action sequences, and I'm kind of wondering like if was I just imagining this when I read it, or is this really how it's going to be portrayed in animation? But yeah. From Kiryu Sanagi, thoughts on the new Godzilla movie? I actually still haven't watched the trailer. Sorry. I know it's been there, but I just haven't felt in the mood. I haven't just looked at it. Jeez, I gotta go back to the comments. Maybe it's another video that would be cool. Why was TMNT 2012 canceled? I'm not sure if it was from Kenny Ulisse. I'm not sure if it was quote unquote canceled. I would have to look up information, but to be honest, by the time it reached season 4 or 5, I was getting a little out of it. I really feel that 2012 series kind of overstayed its welcome after a while. Where am I going with this? Because by season 5, it was pretty much a bunch of alternate endings, I would say, for the story. And I also didn't like that the mutant apocalypse kind of implied that, well, all the human characters are dead, so of all of our friends. So I'm like, what? Because also it seems odd to end the Turtle series on a Mad Max tribute, which is badass in its own right, but not necessarily Ninja Turtles, I guess, when it comes to the whole foundation of the family and, what turtles are typically known for. But where am I going with this? So the thing is, I don't know whether I admit that it might have stopped because there was already plans for New Blood when it comes to Rise. Because if you think about it, it's not even a full year. Well, I don't think it's been a full year, or maybe it has, since like the 2012 series ended and the new series is already starting, which is might be the fastest time a new Turtle series came up after a previous one ended. Because I mean, Back to the Sewer ended like what, 2007, 2008, like around there. And then it wasn't until 2012 that the new Turtles came out. Also, why does everyone like Joseph Joestar? People keep yelling about how great he is, and I'm starting to get annoyed by it. By Gavin Bob. Joseph Joestar. Well, I'm seeing another comment that relates to him about the Joestars. With a super eye patch will clear about shows he hasn't seen, and the entirety doesn't. Yeah. Let me look at the. Oh, Jesus, a lot. Oh man, there's a lot of comments. I don't even know I'm going to be able to answer all of these in time. Let me go back. Nope. Hold on. I'll reserve the Joseph thing till later. I might make that the very end of the video. Okay, let's see. Best version of Casey or April. 2003 Casey Jones and 2012 April. From what I've seen, because I had high hopes for 2012 Casey, but his character never really goes anywhere. It just stays the same. Meanwhile, 2003, despite having less appearances than any other, 87 Casey Jones was barely in the show, but 2003 Casey Jones had a lot more going on for his character, even though he had only like maybe less than 5 episodes where he was really important in it. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, 2003 Casey Jones, I would say, is the better version, and April 2012 has been the best version of April we ever had. So now it comes down to, will 2018 April be the next one? I don't know, but 2012 April was like very involved from the story since the very beginning all the way to the ending. So also, if you don't know this, 2012 April is actually an Esper, which is kind of surprising. Okay. Snurg. I can't pronounce this. Snurghetto or Ghetto. I know I'm a little late on this, but Super Eye Patch Wolf clearly talks about shows he hasn't seen in their entirety and doesn't know what he talks about half the time when it comes to older shows. Well, that's kind of the reason why I'm. Jeez, where am I going with this? That's the kind of reason why I go very thorough on the older anime and older cartoons that's why I want to do older cartoons as well, because I feel there's a lot of misconceptions and things that people don't really want to. Again, like I said earlier, people don't really feel like watching something older for whatever reason. So yeah, wasn't there a female turtle before? Am I mistaken? And I know I saw the comment later down the line where it says Venus de Milo. That yeah, there was Venus de Milo from the Next Mutation, and that led to a lot of controversy with the creator. Not necessarily. Well, the fan base was a bit upset about it too, but it was mostly. I forgot which of the Turtles creators was very angry about the character, and more than likely, we're never going to see that character again. But she wasn't bad. Let's put it that way. But she was just okay. The thing is, though, whoever made the Turtle episodes on the Power Rangers in Space crossovers, those episodes had a better portrayal of the Turtles, which is a little weird, but I would have preferred whoever was making those episodes to make the whole Next Mutation show. Let me see. And yeah, and Mona Lisa from 1987 was actually this mutant gecko lizard that appeared in one episode. However, that character, Mona Lisa, also appears in the 2012 TMNT series as this lizard, as this alien race of lizards. So there's that. Let's see. True. Go watch Kamen Rider Amazon if you're suddenly got interested in Tokusatsu. The closest thing to Tokusatsu that I've seen is Batman 1966. I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's true. Detective Conan got more better. I mean, Kogoro got arrested in the movie. Holy cow. I heard that the movies have been doing really great lately, so maybe I'll go through that route. By Kenny Ulis. You into Tiger and Bunny? I'm okay with it. I have seen the whole show. I was interested in doing a superhero retrospective about it. I have a bunch of documents that I haven't been able to finish, or I do other things meanwhile. But yeah, Tiger and Bunny is interesting. It's just not one of my personal favorites. That's the best way I could put it. Like I like, yeah, that's the best way I could put it. Yeah, the current Berserk is not that good anymore. Have you seen Cells' work by Jojo Addict? Oh, hey, by the way, hi. Hey, where you been? Yeah, I saw your updates. Have you seen Cells at Work? I love hearing Daisuke Ono in that. By Cells at Work, all I've seen was a promotional image, and I can already tell that the concept seems interesting because it's basically the what Osmosis Jones should have been, maybe, or this is the Osmosis Jones anime. So yeah, I like the concept, but maybe I'll watch it later on down the line. Phone. Yeah, from also me like as well. Oh, I didn't know the Brian. I didn't know that you were an aviator or any of that stuff. Are you watching Banana Fish and have you seen Hunter x Hunter? Let's see. No, I haven't looked at Banana Fish. I know that Viz Media reprinted all of their manga for that. And when it comes to Hunter x Hunter, yes, I've seen it. I've actually seen it back in the day when it was just 1999. Yeah, well, technically it came over here in the late 2000s, but that's how I knew about Hunter x Hunter. It was just this one anime from the 90s, and then 2011 came. I saw most of it, but after a certain point, I actually liked the. I stopped watching the 2011 series. I did read all the manga up to a certain point before it went to hiatus again, but I actually prefer the 99 anime simply because of its music. That's the main reason why I like that show more. Best Baki fight, and how do you feel about Baki Do? I did a review about Baki Do. All my feelings about it are there, but so far, since I don't think it's been fully translated, I can't really give a better opinion of it. But Baki Do, I just felt like I'm not sure if it was a necessary sequel. I think stuff should have stopped with Son of Ogre. Oh yeah, best Baki fight. It might be Baki versus Yujiro, to be honest, with the last one, because everything everything happened there. Do you consider yourself manly by Palmin? Gosh, Leonardo Palminio Gonzalez Baiz. Do I consider myself manly? Manly in spirit, but not manly in physical form. That's the best way I can put it. Let's see. Sir D Star, Yo Hero, meat spin is gay porn. LOL. Oh well, I did not know that. Fight. Are you gay? Nope. I'm a big fan of yours since that Fist of North Star video you made talking about if it was on Toonami back in the day, it would have blown up. Oh yeah, that is my old review. I might actually have to. Well, I would have to edit that video if I'm gonna put it up again and make a little notice that this is a really old video. But yeah, well, thanks, because I made that in 2012. I live inside your house. If he is gay, then I might have a chance with him. Sorry, I'm a straight man. Let's see. Boy, the man is the best stand-in JoJo. Wait, which is way better, Weekly Shonen Jump or Shonen Sunday? I haven't explored that much Sunday, but I've seen some anime commercials of Shonen Sunday, and their roster doesn't really, at least in the 90s, their roster didn't look that diverse when you look compared to Shonen Jump in terms of either character design, but in terms of story quality, I wouldn't know for sure. But a lot of the major hits of the world has been Shonen Jump, so I just think it's true because I know Shonen Sunday has some of my favorites like Ghost Super Mikami, Gash Bell, Zatch Bell, Konjiki no Gash Bell, Kongo Bancho or Shonen Sunday, I think. So there's a few hits there that I'm aware of. Only play rock, paper, shake, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Why did you guys start talking about him being gay? Who knows? Somebody said I was cute or something, or I don't know. Then again, I do love the old school cartoons like, well, Scooby Doo. Yeah, the last Scooby Doo that I saw was about was the Batman Brave and the Bold crossover that came out like early this year, or was it last year? No, I think it was last year, like around November. Zombie Island was pretty cool. The Hex Girls, oh yeah, we are the Hex Girls. My tour. Let me see if that's the character. My tour. Yeah, my tour is the character I was referring to because cause, yeah, because I remember finding this one illustration of Batman with Space Ghost, my tour, and a couple other characters, and you can see the Birdman, and you can see the resemblance in their faces, especially with that costume design of the white eyes, black around it. But I am curious of watching those older cartoons because most people know them for their parodies on Adult Swim rather than their actual source material. Like if you say Birdman or Harvey Birdman, people are gonna think, "Oh, Attorney at Law." Like no, like the real show. There was a real show, yeah. Or hey, you remember Brack from Space Ghost? Like, yeah, I remember the Brack show on Adult Swim. No, I'm talking like the actual 70s or 60s or whatever. Never mind. Yeah, but you get my point. What do you think of the new Voltron? I haven't even seen the original Voltron, so I can't start the new one. However, I do have Shira knowledge of the old one, so I could watch the new Shira whenever that comes out and see how it is, like whether it's good or not. Oh, jeez, come on, go back up. Jeez, I need to go back to the questions. Jeez, I know I still need to answer the Joseph question, but I'm gonna have to go fast through this because it's already gonna be more than an hour. Bum bum bum. I want this. I want the comments to go down, but I'm like, oh, okay, come on, go back up, go back up, come on, go back up. Where comments? I wish you were smoother. Maybe I should look at this on my phone. Maybe that would have been easier. I don't know. Bum, bum, bum. What is your favorite sport, manga, or anime? Favorite sport? I want to say Asuna Joe off on the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm overlooking some other series. I'll just go with that for right now. I'm old school at some point and new school at some point, and that's kind of how I feel. Haikyuu is as good as hell, and Ippo. Asuna Joe is a sport manga anime to me. Let's see, Bryant, new school, not a fan much. Not a fan much. Like I cannot get into newer series. It's hard for me to get into them. Old school classic shows is much easier. I don't know why. I don't know. It varies for people. Yep, anime nowadays is not that good. I am an old soul, or at least I think I am. Yeah, I guess I gotta start reading that. Bum, bum, bum. By Jose Chandra one. Hi there. Between Warsman and Neptune Man, which one is your pick? I like Warsman like a lot more because of the robot background, but Neptune Man is like pretty up there for me too when it comes to my favorite characters from Kinnikuman Man. I think Neptune Man might be my favorite villain. At this point, he still is, but it depends what happens in when Kinnikuman Man 2011 finishes translating those final chapters of that Akuma Shogun versus Big Strong Debuto. And this is not just anime; it's a lot of things. To be honest, heck, I love Back to the Future, and it's my favorite film series. Yeah, like there's some of us that's more into older stuff. Like I'm actually I'm only 27, and I was born in the in 91, but I tend to gravitate towards older stuff also. This is something I'm gonna mention whenever I make that 7-year anniversary video. There's just like a lot of stuff that there's just something about that era that just seemed more creative or a lot more I guess daring is maybe the best word. Let's see. Jose Chan Broly is now canon. Yeah, that's something that I'm I'm kind of worried about because I'm hoping that he's written better than when he's shown before in those films. But let's see. Oh, this again. Hello, hello, Icy Taff. You actually, I don't know how long you've been here, but I'm trying to wrap this up as fast as I can. uh, gosh, I'm slurring. Gogo 13 is kind of dope from Tip the Lego Nut. Yeah, he is. I just wish that the anime was like better, was preserved in better quality. At least the 2008 series, because I looked back at it the other day, and I'm kind of surprised how fuzzy it looks at some points. So I don't know, because I remember in my review I was saying that the anime was actually looks pretty impressive for its time, but now I'm thinking maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping Golden Team gets a new anime that's like more in the visual flair of the professional Dezaki directed film, because I think that would look more cooler. We're gonna gain Rick and Morty. Anyone seen the thing? I have. It's pretty scary. I also remember Johnny Quest and really enjoying it since I was a kid. Yeah, that's another show I haven't explored because when it comes to 80 shows, the only big one I haven't looked at is GI Joe. I'm still watching Thundercats, the real Ghostbusters, and G1 Transformers, but I know there's a lot of other 80s, 70s, 60s, and 90s cartoons that I need to look around for. Saint Seiya Lost Canvas, worth it in Spanish dub though. Yeah, that's one alternative I was thinking of doing, whether to watch Saint Seiya in Spanish. Come on, go back up. Best forward to watching Seiya's Lost Canvas. Or does anyone know a good site to watch cartoons? When it comes to cartoons, you have to look at Kim Cartoon, because that's the I think that's the latest update Kiss Cartoon had, because that's pretty much like the only real place where you could see like a bunch of old stuff. It's not like when it comes to anime where there's a bunch of websites. Cartoons is a little harder. I'm currently reading Scooby Doo and Apocalypse. Kiniko Man Soldier is lo mejor que. Well, Kiniko Man Soldier is the best there is. That's what the translation is from Spider Onux. But yeah, I mean, Kiniko Man Soldier is like, whew, yeah, best big brother ever. Kiniko Man Soldier. Yeah, he almost became my favorite character if it weren't for the fact that he's only in one arc. And it upsets me that he only appears in Ultimate Muscle for a little bit, and he hasn't shown up any of the other stuff. So I'm hoping he shows up in Kinnikuman 2011 at some point. Have you seen the cover of Deathstroke versus Yogi Bear? Yogi became a freaking monster. Nope, I haven't seen that. Kinnikuman Soldiers Go. Yeah, let's see. I want to see Gunsmith Cats and Riding Bean, but it's not on Crunchyroll. Well, if you can still, well, not Gunsmith Cats, but you can still find Riding Bean pretty cheaply on DVD, or I don't know if the pre-orders for the Blu-ray are still available, or if that's been closed. Because I know it was on Kickstarter for the Blu-ray, but I don't know. For Gunsmith Cats, you might have to look online for that, because the DVD has been out of print. Oh, actually, no. For Gunsmith Cats, you might want to do some looking up on the what was the name of their company? I'm forgetting. Animego. I think that's the one that has that's also doing Gunsmith Cats, or maybe it was a Kickstarter. You might have to do some digging, because I know there was supposed to be a Blu-ray plan for Gunsmith Cats. Have you seen Gargoyles? Shit. Oh, my comment went up. And if so, what are your thoughts? Oh yeah, Gargoyles is awesome, but the thing is, I never got to finish the show, because I still have some DVDs of Gargoyles over here in my room, but After a certain point, it just became berserk, and I mean that in a negative way. It became berserk because Goliath, and I forgot the name of this other character, but he, Bronx, and someone else, they're on this freaking rowboat, and they just keep stopping on different adventures, and I kind of wish that why did this became the boat of berserk? Gargoyles did it first. But I did like what I saw. That's something I need to go back and rewatch because it's been like a while. My only concern is that I don't think there's any version of the VHS version of Gargoyles, like Gargoyles the movie, because the movie version is different from the TV episodes because well, besides some of the scenes changing and music, is that even the sound effects are different. And I remember watching the Gargoyles movie a lot of times as a kid because I had the VHS that came with a board game, and in that movie I'm very familiar with certain sound effects that's supposed to happen, so it feels so weird not hearing those exact same sounds in the episode versions. Yeah, yeah, Kim Cartoon is the new place. That's the better version. There's a lot of anime on Crunchyroll, but I can't watch a lot of them because I don't live in America. Yeah, that's the problem with some of the official places is that a lot of the stuff can't regions. Oh wow, I actually reached the bottom of the comments. That's surprising. Vagabond is nice. Yeah, it is, but I haven't read it in years. Tenku Shinpan. That sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so in about a minute or two, I guess I'll be taking off in within the 2 minutes. So if any of you guys have any last second questions, you might as well mention it. Um, I might do live streams a bit more recurring depending if time allows me. So far, it seems like Saturday night might be the best bet. But I do want to make other videos on this channel while the other one is being like under review and all that stuff. What is your Wow, I can't even read the question right. Like, what is your Pokemon on opinion? Well, my Pokemon on opinion is, um, I think my answer is gonna be very typical for someone of my age. For being a 27-year-old growing up in the 90s, that I liked Pokemon when it came out, but a lot of my personal attachment goes to G1 and G2 Pokemon. The first 150, then the 250. I was one of those kids that actually saw Pokemon in Mewtwo Strikes Back. I actually saw the first 4 Pokemon movies in theaters, so that's when I saw Mewtwo Strikes Back. Yeah, that is the name of the first Pokemon movie, right? Because there's Mewtwo Returns. That's something else. So yeah, when I saw Mewtwo Strikes Back and Pikachu Adventure, I was excited just like any other kid. Because when Marrow and Snubble came out, I was thinking like, what Pokemon is that? I don't know that one. Or when Donphan came out at the beginning of the movie, also was like, what? Like I don't know that Pokemon. He's not on the 150 list. What is this? Yeah. Then Mewtwo became like my favorite Pokemon ever because not because he's overpowered, but also because I was like really into his story. And well, my favorite Pokemons are actually Gengar, Alakazam. Do you have also those evolutions that are in there? A lot of G1 Pokemon. Like I like Machamp because of just the gimmick of 4 arms. I just thought that was cool. Actually, I would like for them to make some. Does anyone know if they make Pokemon figures? Because that's something I need to look up to. Because I would like an SH figure arts of certain or just a toy in general of like this more posable Pokemon characters. But yeah, I'm trying to think anything else about. Yeah, like when I grew up with the games, I grew up with the blue version on the Game Boy Color, and then later on I played silver version, crystal version, and a couple of years back, my sister was sort of getting me back into Pokemon as like the years passed on. And I was the last Pokemon game that I played besides Stadium was actually Pokemon Coliseum, and later on was she let me play the Fire Red game, but I never played any of the DS Pokemon games or any of the modern stuff. So Fire Red was like the closest. And let's see. Okay, Spider Nux. I need to read this in Spanish first. Gracias a tu canal encontré muchos mangas y animes manly muy geniales y logré leer Kongo Bancho y todavía no sé por qué no tiene anime. También estoy leyendo Saltame Girl, muy bueno por ahora. Okay, so the translation to that was that thanks to my channel, I was able to explore a bunch of manly anime that are great, and I managed to finally read Kongo Bancho, and I still don't understand why it doesn't have an anime. Also, I'm reading Saltame Girl, Senshu, or Hitakakuzo. Well, basically, it's called Saltame Girl, and it's also been pretty fun. So, yeah, you're welcome. I forgot how to say you're welcome in Spanish. I don't remember. It was, let's see, it was, I'll just say de nada. Oh, God, my Spanish vocabulary has deteriorated because I haven't used it in years. But, oh well. Spanish sounds sexy. Well, when I speak Spanish, my voice naturally goes even deeper. So I don't know why. It just does. Let's see. What about One Piece? I love pirates. They're incredible and awesome. I like Luffy, Nami, and Saji the best to me. But I love all the Straw Hats. Frankie is my favorite of the Straw Hats, but for the longest time, it was Zoro. Because I grew up with One Piece during the 4 Kids days. So I actually watched all of that. So yeah, I like, but then again, 4 Kids Zoro is voiced by Guts, Mark the Rice son. So it's not all that bad. So there's that at least. But yeah, I prefer the Delman OVA because it follows the manga better. That is true. The OVAs are much more close to the manga because Crybaby is his own direction. Also, OVAs had like some. Well, then again, OVAs in general are just badass, no matter how old it is, or if the story's any good or not. But yeah, going back to your One Piece question, Brian's. I haven't gone over 2 hours now. Wow. Yeah, when it's I give it 4 minutes, and once those 4 minutes are up, I'm gonna hang up. So when it comes to One Piece characters, Frankie was my favorite, and when it comes to the girls, I actually prefer Nico Robin, but I also think Nami's a good-looking one too, and good character also. But I'm pretty sure everyone knows what the real question was when it comes to the Straw Hat Girls. But whatever. Yeah, Frankie's my favorite. I just like that I like his original design a little bit more because it's a mix of Ace Ventura and Popeye. But the second one with the robot arms and that cannon hairstyle and Dressrosa is a pretty badass look. Um, what's your favorite Batman cartoon? Do you even have to ask that question? I think the answer is pretty obvious if I grew up in the 90s. So yeah, back in Fox Kids, Batman the Animated Series. Have you seen the OVAs of Birdy the Mighty? Yes, I have. That was a long time ago. But I actually don't like Birdie's design in those OVAs for some reason. I'm not into the asymmetrical colors that they used. I really like her decode design a lot more, but the OVAs were. I can't remember too much of the OVAs to be honest, but I do remember that the final fight scene was pretty cool because it had an Esper, and it's also one of the few times when you see anime characters with black hair. Because if you think about it, well, I know Goku and Vegeta have black hair, but a majority of anime characters don't have black hair anymore. And I remember in Birdy the Mighty OVA that there was this one character that had black hair and had like a very sleek glare to it, which looked really cool. And I know I saw a question earlier that I need to get back to that has to do with Mumra or Skeletor. Have you seen the Devil Lady anime? Yeah, yes, I have. The Devil Lady anime, I would suggest that it's kind of slow in some areas, but it actually has a happy ending, which I'm kind of intrigued. But Devilman Lady, the anime is sort of like hit or miss in areas. The music is by far the best thing of that show. Yeah, Batman Beyond is awesome also. Yeah. I can't seem to find the comment because I know I saw the I know I saw somewhere a question about Skeletor. Oh, there it is. Mumra or Skeletor, who do you like more? Skeletor by far. Because with Mumra, I'm still pretty early into Thundercats, but I've seen like the majority of He-Man. So Skeletor is by far like my might be my favorite 80s villain, to be honest. So yeah. Skeletor is out there. I mean, one of the reasons that it's pretty easy to do his voice in Conquer Eternia. I would like to see a Skeletor crossover with Berserk. Imagine if he got a hold of the Balit. Would he become an apostle and rule over move over Midland? Eternia will be mine, He-Man, with the new powers of the God Hand. So yeah, that'd be a pretty awesome crossover. Masters of the Universe X Berserk. June seemed pretty depressed at the end of the anime, walking into distance alone. That is true, because June, I prefer the manga version of Devilman Lady, to be honest, but I do like the idea how the anime made her into a giant, like the Sandy 2 anime, so, you know, there's stuff like that. Favorite 80s cartoon? It's between Ninja Turtles and He-Man, to be honest. Maybe I think I like the 87 Ninja Turtle show more, but I think I like He-Man as a whole like more than Ninja Turtles, or I don't know. Those two are competing things for me. They're competing for number one spot. That's the best way I can put it. And all right, 10 out of 10 fan fiction. Yeah. So Nami Swan is awesome. She is a meteorologist. I am amazed she is very pretty and loves knows weather. Personally, about Nami's new design, I just like the concept that she's wearing jeans. I just like the whole jeans and the long hair, jeans and high heels look. That's just awesome to me. But although what I don't like about Nico Robin is that she doesn't wear hats anymore. That's what I liked about her to begin with. Like with a hat and sunglasses, that would have been cool. But now it's just sunglasses only. So that ends tonight's live stream, guys. That's oh yeah. Okay, this is the last question. ¿Qué piensas sobre el diseño de Shira? The SJW de Shira jeans. Well, personally, I don't have any problem with the Shira design. My concern is with the writing, like how it turns out. Oh yeah, he was asking about the Shira's design in case you didn't know by X or Du's X. Nico Robin is best girl. Yeah. Yeah, the Shira reboot. I'm just waiting and see like what it does with the writing because I'm okay with the design because if you think about it, if the whole idea is for her to look different from Adora when she's transformed, then it makes sense. Because He-Man, well, in the 80s when Prince Adam turned into He-Man, they looked exactly the same, just with a different skin color. But in the 2002 series, when Adam transforms into He-Man, there is a huge difference. So I'm assuming it's the same here for She-Ra. So anyways, that's all I got to say for tonight. I'll be saying farewell and good night. Oh yeah, I guess I could end with this. Yeah. But Skeletor conquering Berserk, that'd be interesting. I could just picture him with Griffith, just saying like I will conquer Midland. No, I will conquer Midland. You will become my slave, Femto. I am the true overlord of evil, master of the God Hand. Good night, everyone.